this particular briefing, because in Azimio, it is important to know things and to speak from a position of knowledge. We are the only coalition who does these things for our members of parliament so that they can debate and engage on issues from a position of knowledge. You will not hear a member of Azimio saying they voted for something they didn't read. And for that, I want to thank the coalition for always prioritizing knowledge. So mujipigie makofi nyinyi wenyewe. Number two, it is quite apparent that the time that is required to go through everything is not sufficient. So just like we requested the leadership to put together this one on the NADCO bills, on behalf of my colleagues, we are requesting that we do something similar on the finance bill, because that debate is going to be heavy in the coming days. And Dr. Annette, don't tire when we come back to you for us to hold those meetings. I will just say that it is quite exhausting for good people when bad people are in power, because it is quite clear that these people have unending reservoirs of evil. Every single day you wake up and they've conjured another silly idea or just bad ideas. And they say that we in the opposition are required to push back on these things. What I don't understand is, why can't you just do the right thing? Why not do the right thing? Although they say that the price of democracy is a ton of vigilance, these ones are overworking us by every single day, waking up with dumb ideas, with bad ideas, with very diabolic ideas. If you sleep and dream, your only dreams are how to make life even more difficult for Kenyans. Which other areas can you impart some pain on Kenyans until you get to the place where you are thinking of imposing taxation on bread and on motor vehicles, which are overtaxed in the first place? I think these people, we must give it to them. They really have depth when it comes to ways of hurting Kenyans. I will say two things and sit down. Honorable members, on this question of recognition of parliamentary parties, I want to plead with members that just like it was done in the National Assembly, that you lifted the definition from your standing orders, it would be also prudent for us to lift from our own standing orders in the Senate, because they already have provision for recognition of parliamentary parties, and the bar has been set at 10 members. I am hoping that I'll be able to convince my colleague from Kitui, the Honorable Senator Wambua, because I know that he has a different opinion. Honorable members, lastly, on the political parties funding, I want to say, as SG of ODM, that I am aware that, in fact, the last time we had a PG, Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka, if you remember, the Honorable Mulu, I think he's called, Makali Mulu, gave a briefing, and he had told us that at that particular point there was a proposal to return the 1.4 billion shillings for political party funding that had been in the previous budget. The information we are getting right now is that there is already a proposal from Treasury to cut that back to 600 million shillings for all qualifying political parties. So for me, really, the regret is that we did not take advantage of this process to ring-fence political party funding, because the idea by this regime is to cripple us. I can ascertain here that all our programs at the party have ground to a halt. I am in arrears in all my county offices for over 6 months, and I have 44 county offices. Honorable Kalonzo and the team, we must think of how we ring-fence the political party funding. Lastly, on the division of revenue, I want to speak on behalf of the Senate and tell members of the Azimio coalition in the National Assembly, we were extremely proud of the position you took on this matter when the debate came to the floor of the House. We in the Senate can see light at the end of the tunnel, because for the first time, this matter is not being debated as a matter pitting the Senate against the National Assembly. And I am hoping, honorable members of the coalition leadership, that when we go to mediation, the instructions on members of the Azimio coalition who will be in that mediation team will be to stand with devolution, to stand with the Senate, because the figures we have proposed of 415 billion to the counties is something we can justify, and we are prepared to do that. So I am hoping that you will support us. So, honorable members, I want to stop there to recognize that there was my colleague, the SG of Wiper, I saw her in the room, but she left. And therefore, I want to invite the SG of, yes? Yes, the SG of Jubilee, the Honorable Kioni, who will invite the leadership for the comments, and then we close. And on behalf of the leadership of Nairobi, I want to invite all of you to Mathare so that we can distribute the food that you have put together very generously for the people affected by the floods across the country. I thank you and God bless you.
I thank you for this opportunity. Nilikuja nimechelewa pengine.
As we speak, the constitutional amendment bill is yet to be published. And yet you know it has got timelines in the Constitution. You can't vary those timelines. And yet again, we know that two of the statute amendment bills, that is the leader of opposition bill and the coordination of national government amendment bill, are dependent upon the passage of the constitutional amendment bill. You must understand that you won't be able to touch on the leader of official opposition bill or the coordination of national government amendment bill, which is a bill dealing with the office of the prime minister, the proposed office of the prime minister. So let's understand that. Again, I want to plead with my colleague members that please let's take time and read these bills. We shall endeavor again to post them in our group, the WhatsApp groups, today. We did so earlier on, I think. Please download them and read them. The entrenchment of funds, there are only 3 funds that we are entrenching in the Constitution, for clarification, for clarity. The NGCDF fund, the Affirmative Action Fund, and the Senate Oversight Fund. The World Development Fund is not being entrenched in the Constitution because we realized during NADCO proceedings that there's already a clause in the Constitution that provides for such funds at the counties. What we agreed is basically enact an ordinary legislation at the national level to deal with the management of those funds in the counties and in the wards. The IBC, I agree on the issue of the political parties amendment bill. The proposed commission, I agree with the members who have spoken before me. We shall have to align it, to realign it rather, so that either of the chair or vice comes from the two coalitions